Upgraded Tesla Model 3 wins winter range test in 20 C, 40 F weather. While recent news reports may suggest that Teslas are useless in the cold, the results of a winter range test in Europe reveal that the opposite is true. As per a test conducted by the Finnish newspaper Tekniikan Maailma, TM, Tesla's electric vehicles are among the best-performing electric cars in frigid weather. Welcome to Tesla Global, the home of Tesla news from around the world. Subscribe for more Tesla news. Electric vehicles tested under the WLTP standard in Europe undergo laboratory testing at a temperature of approximately 23 degrees. Despite this, it is common knowledge that electric vehicles, much like their combustion-powered counterparts, experience reduced range in cold weather. To address this, a test conducted by a Finnish newspaper aimed to assess the actual range of popular electric cars in freezing conditions. The weather during the range test was notably cold, with temperatures reaching about 20 degrees, 40 F. The test involved 10 electric vehicles, including the upgraded Tesla Model 3 long-range dual-motor, Volkswagen ID.7 Pro Elegance, BMW i5 eDrive 40mm Sport, BYD Dolphin Comfort, Hyundai Kona Electric 65 kWh Premium, and the MG4 Luxury, among others. The Finnish newspaper's test was simple enough, with each vehicle being driven until they could no longer operate. As per the publication, the Hyundai Kona Electric ended up stopping despite still having 7% of its battery left. Other EVs like the MG4 and the Volkswagen ID initiated power-saving measures as their battery drained, with the vehicles cutting off their interior heating at 15% and 10% respectively. The upgraded Tesla Model 3 long-range dual-motor AWD continued to be drivable despite its battery showing 0%. The vehicle drove over 300 km despite the frigid weather, and while its overall range during the test represented a notable decrease from its estimated WLTP range of 629 km, it was a standout among its peers nonetheless. Ultimately, the upgraded Tesla Model 3 topped the Finnish newspaper's winter driving test for its overall performance. Lauri Atiainen, the creator of TM's electric car operating distance assessments, provided insights on the outcomes of the winter test. He remarked, "The harsh cold does have an impact, but even in challenging weather conditions, some of the cars demonstrated a commendable ability to gauge the battery's sufficiency, while others unexpectedly came to a halt." Next, let's take a look at Tesla stock. Morgan Stanley pumps the brakes and lowers PT ahead of earnings. Analysts at Morgan Stanley pumped the brakes on Tesla stock by lowering its price target ahead of the automaker's earnings call late this week. Tesla shares are down 15% so far this year. Over the past year, shares are up 66%, but moving into 2024, some bulls are remaining cautious. Morgan Stanley is one of them. In a note to investors released on Monday, analysts at the firm noted there are several factors that could spell trouble for global demand, including increased competition, pricing instability, and slowing demand for EVs. Tesla will report earnings on Wednesday. The company reached its 1.08 million unit delivery goal in 2023. It also dominated EV deliveries in the United States and Europe and was toward the top of the list in China. It launched the Cybertruck, a new Model 3 design, and has plenty of other catalysts moving into 2024. However, an ever-changing landscape, more competition, and other factors have Morgan Stanley proceeding with increased caution for the year. In a note from analysts at the firm, they wrote about the potential risks for the stock this year. Global EV momentum is stalling. The market is oversupplied versus demand. We anticipate Tesla's 2024 outlook to be cautious on volume and profitability. Tough sledding for EVs, but we remain OW on AI and robotics optionality. Adam Jonas listed several risk factors for the stock in the note, which include price cuts, weakening or expiration of EV incentives, excess capacity in China, residual value risks, and fleets cutting EV concentration. Price cuts. Tesla is still working on pricing stability, which improved greatly throughout 2023, but still offered some concern for investors. Less expensive EVs equate to increased adoption, but it also puts pressure on margins and profitability for the company. Tesla has already cut prices in China and Europe this year, which is concerning from Morgan Stanley's standpoint. Tesla has already announced price cuts in China and Europe that matched or exceeded our prior expectations of price reductions for the full year 2024. The German Tesla price cuts came merely days after Tesla announced production cuts at Giga Berlin related to Red Sea shipping issues. Lower production is usually positive for prices. This suggests the European EV situation is changing quite rapidly. Expiration weakening of EV incentives. Particularly in the United States, Tesla is revising the narratives surrounding certain vehicle models and their qualification for EV tax credits. Notably, 2 configurations of the Model 3 no longer qualify for the tax credit. And given the Model 3's status as one of Tesla's top-selling EVs, this development is viewed as unfavorable, despite the car's ongoing affordability. Morgan Stanley expresses skepticism about the future of the EV tax credit, referring to it as increasingly uncertain. The eligibility changes for EV tax credits could impact consumers, as some rely on these incentives for purchasing decisions. Even for those who do not consider them essential, these incentives still present a notable benefit. This shift in tax credit eligibility may influence consumers to explore alternative vehicle options. It's worth noting that other major automakers, including Volkswagen, BMW, Audi, and Ford, have also faced restrictions on tax credit eligibility for certain EV models. Excess capacity in China. Morgan Stanley said its Chinese team noted sales cannibalization, increased battery capacity and inventory, and the expiration of certain local stimulus measures as reasons Tesla may feel the heat. Residual value risks. Price cuts from OEMs have pressured EV residuals, and dealerships are less bullish on electric cars than ever. Jonas writes that residual value volatility hurts the value proposition for consumers and creates uncertainty around leasing partners who don't want to hold this risk. This includes Tesla. Tesla's leasing penetration is in the low single digits globally, Morgan Stanley notes. Fleets. Cutting EVs. Hertz made a drastic announcement earlier this month stating it would backtrack its massive commitment to EVs as it did not properly account for the cost of damages. 1/3 of its EV fleet is being sold off, and a portion of the proceeds will go back into combustion engine vehicles. Other companies are doing this as well on a smaller scale. Fleets offer a few advantages, including a large boost to orders for EV makers. Hertz planned to buy 100,000 Teslas, for example. They also give drivers an opportunity to drive EVs before buying. While this will still be available, it will be less widespread. Price target downgrade. Morgan Stanley moved its price target to $345 from $380. If you enjoyed today's roundup of Tesla news, please subscribe for more, or join and become a channel member. This way, you can help contribute towards the channel that little bit extra. See you in the next one.